beforehand.
Alrighty, so we're going to start on page 61 in your grammar books. 61. And talking about the who, which clause, which is so nice because we already know about those. You guys use those in your writing already. So now you're going to start labeling them in your grammar books. See, it kind of comes together, both the writing part of the class and the grammar part of the class. So a who, which clause is a dependent clause that begins with the word who or which. You already know that. By the way, when you're writing it in your writing for your paragraphs, you only need to underline who or which, not the whole clause. Okay, just remember that, just the word who or the word which. But in this book, you're going to do something different. Okay, just remember that's how it is for the writing part. A who, which clause can also begin with the word whose. So that's true for your writing too. If you want to use whose instead of who or which, you can. The possessive case of who and which. When whose begins the who, which clause, whose will not function as the subject of the clause because whose functions as a possessive adjective and shows ownership. So you know how sometimes when we label the who, which clause, sometimes inside the clause who is the subject, but not when you use the word whose. Here's an example here. Robin, whose arrow broke, missed the target. So what they did was there were two sentences that it originally said Robin missed the mark and Robin's arrow broke. So what they did was combine those two sentences into one, and they crossed out this one with the apostrophe and they used the word whose. And now it's a great sentence with a who clause there. Notice they put commas before and after. Whenever a who, which clause is in the middle of a sentence, it does have commas around it. When you go to label it in this book, you're going to use parentheses, right? Like right here, look at this example. The men whose lands were taken hid in the forest. So here we've got parentheses around whose lands were taken. And then notice the W/W right there. That's how you label these clauses. One of the W's stands for who, and the other W stands for which. I forgot for a second. Who and which. So W/W. That goes on top of the first word. And then you're going to label your subject and verbs. Remember how I told you that clauses always have subject and verbs, but phrases do not. They don't have verbs at all. That's one of the differences here. So lands is subject and then were taken. So notice were is actually a helping verb here. It's helping that word taken. Taken is the action word, verb. So whose lands were taken, that's the whole clause, and then you're labeling subject verbs inside of that. And then down here, we're talking about run-on. Have you ever heard of a run-on sentence before? You guys heard of that before? Yeah, maybe not, maybe kind of. A run-on occurs when a sentence has main clauses that are not connected properly. And maybe you either have like a little brother or a little sister, or maybe you remember when you were little and you would write, and then blah, 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 and then blah, 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 and then, and then, and then, and then, and then, and it's like one giant sentence.
I did this.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
No, what I did was, so I ate the cookie, comma, then I ate the cookie again, comma, 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 comma,
And
comma,
then, yeah. A lot of little kids do that. They just want to keep talking or keep writing. They don't think to stop, put a period, and then start a new sentence.
They're like bigger the better.
Yep, bigger the better. So it's like ends up just like one period at the very bottom of the page. So
Yeah.
that is a perfect
without any periods.
That's a perfect example of a run-on sentence. Was basically when you've got a bunch of main clauses that you just put together. So there's a couple of different types. They're talking about a fused sentence here. Is two main clauses placed in one sentence without any punctuation between them. This is a common type of run-on error. The easiest way to fix the error is to place a period. at the end of each main clause. So look for the two main clauses that are missing a period between them. And then you're going to correct a fused sentence by putting a period between the main clauses. And sometimes you have to cross out a word like and or then if you keep it going like that. So you might have to cross out a word to make it make sense. But here's your example down below. The men could not pay their taxes. They hid in the forest. So originally it didn't have a period there. So it was just kind of like a lot all at once. And it's going to flow better if you put a period. So what you do is just put the brackets around the main clauses here and put a period in between. Obviously, you're going to need to capitalize the next letter. And then, of course, because it's a clause, these are clauses, they're each going to have a subject and a verb. So we've got the men in the first clause, could not pay, could pay. Those are the two verbs. And then they is the subject in the next clause, and then hid. So that's what you do is just put a period, break it up, and then mark it with brackets. Okay, do you guys have any questions about this page?
Nope.
Okay, good. There's a little bit more on the back. We've talked about these before. Some words can be used as different parts of speech. They're the same word, but it depends on how it is in the sentence that tells you whether or not what kind of part of speech it is. This is showing the example with the word swimming. We know right away when we hear the word swimming, we think of verb, right? Because it's an action, is what you're doing in the water, swimming. But did you know that it could be an adjective or it even could be a noun? So look at these examples here, right here where it says verb. This one's the easiest one to spot. Robin was swimming in the river. Obviously, it's an action. It's what he's doing. Look at this next part here where it says adjective. Now it says Robin jumped into the swimming hole. Now the swimming is describing the hole, which is a noun. That's what you call it in nature. If you're like in the mountains or something, and then there's some kind of a deep place in the mountains that's filled with water, it's called a swimming hole. But you could even use it like as a swimming pool. The swimming pool, it's telling what kind of pool, right? So it's an adjective here. Look at this one's as a noun. Swimming was Robin's favorite summer activity. So swimming is actually a thing because he's talking about how it is an activity. It is his favorite activity. So there you go. Same word swimming could be a verb, could be an adjective, could be a noun. It depends on how it's used in the sentence. But here's the key. It's not going to be all three at the same time. It can only function as one type of word at a time. So basically just pay attention to that. And now let's go to the practice page. And Jason, can you read it for us today, please?
Sorry. Yeah, because of the desperate times, these men, whose families were hungry, stole money from corrupt noblemen. They gave it to the peasants.
Okay, and it was a little awkward because there's a lot of things we need to fix there, but you did a great job reading it. Corrupt is our vocabulary, and basically corrupt, you've probably heard that word before. It means guilty of being dishonest. Dishonest practices such as bribery. Have you heard of the word bribery before? Yeah. Yeah, so when you're saying like I'll do that for you if you do this for me, or you kind of make a deal like that. So yeah, that's corrupt. Okay, that's a corrupt way of doing business. All right, check by vocabulary. You know what to do here. There's two of them, so go ahead and find them by yourself. Okay. And then Natalia, how about the 6 nouns? There's 6 of them. It's a bunch. So go ahead and tell me what those are.
Nobleman.
Nobleman, yes. That's one.
Men.
Yes.
Families.
Yes. Couple more, actually 3 more.
Peasants.
Yes, peasants. Need a clue?
Yeah.
Did you find any others, Kylie?
Money.
Money. There you go. Money is one. And how about the last one, Jason? Do you know what it is? It's a tricky one.
Did you say me, sir? Did
Say
you
that again.
comment? Did you
Yes.
comment? Sir? Okay, sorry. Times.
Yes, good. That's what I was looking for. So that was a tricky one, Natalia, because when you see an article, that's telling you that a noun is coming. So use that as a clue, okay? This has an adjective before it, and sometimes there is an adjective, but whenever you see an article, that means a noun is coming. It could be right after or almost right after. So that's your clue. Okay, so let's see. What about the pronouns? There's 2 pronouns here.
There's a they
Good.
and whose.
No, it's down here toward the end.
Oh,
It's actually it. Because remember, sometimes pronouns can be in the place of a thing too. It doesn't have to be
I
he,
forgot.
she. Yeah. So it is a pronoun there.
I
Doesn't
don't remember
happen very
taking
often.
this one in the book last time.
That's okay. It doesn't happen very often when we use it, but it is there. Jason, how about the adjectives? There's 4.
Desperate.
Good.
These.
Good.
Stole.
Hold on. You said these. Yes. Okay, here it is. And stole is not an adjective. That's a verb, actually.
Sorry.
That's okay.
And then I think corrupt.
Yes, corrupt is one describing the nobleman. There's one more describing the families.
Hungry.
Yes, hungry. Good. I think that's all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Now notice next on the list is the prepositional phrases, but remember we skipped those. Do those last. So how about Kylie, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I know the prepositional phrases.
Good. I'll come back to you on that. Okay. That's good. So you've done this with me a bunch, so you've got it down.
They're my favorite.
They're your favorite? Okay, I'll come back to you on that. So, but for now, Kylie, where's the who which clause?
Who, which clause? Whose?
Whose? Where does it end?
Hungry.
Good. Yes, and we're going to label it W/W. All right. And then there's 2 main clauses. Natalia, do you know where the main clauses are? Remember, they express a complete thought. So they're a complete sentence.
They gave it to the peasants.
They gave it to the peasants. That's one of them. Good. Yes. That's really good. Good job. And then there's one more. This one's kind of tricky.
Stole money from corrupt noblemen.
You're close. It starts with these men, because remember, you got to have your subject in there too. These men whose families were hungry stole money from corrupt noblemen. So all of that is a main clause. We're not including this first part here. But that was good. It might be easier to find those after we do subject verb pairs next time if you're doing your homework and you need help with that. So the verbs, let's focus on those next. Sorry, Jason. Hold on, Kylie. Where are the verbs, Jason, in the sentences?
I think were.
Yes, were is a linking verb.
And then stole kind of confirmed that earlier.
Yeah, stole.
One
more.
I think I'm not sure. Gave.
Yep. That's in the last main clause there. That's it. So then, Kylie, what are the subjects that go with those verbs?
The subjects are they for
They.
gave,
In this one, yes. They for they gave. Good.
families,
Good.
and men.
Good. It's the men whose families were hungry stole. So the men stole money. That's what the subject verb pair there. The men stole. And then inside the who clause, the families were hungry. Nice. Okay, Kylie, let's go back to the prepositional phrases. Where are those at?
Okay, so it's of the desperate times.
Of the desperate times, yes. Actually, it includes because too. Because of the desperate times, because the word because is actually a preposition. We don't see it very often at the beginning, but good.
From corrupt noblemen.
From corrupt noblemen, good.
And to the peasants.
And to the peasants. So I'm sure that Jason and Natalia, you probably noticed because of didn't have a label, from didn't have a label, and to didn't have a label. So that's your clue that those are the prepositional phrases. But very good, Kylie. I knew you spotted those earlier. So good job. Now we've got some openers. We only have two because we have two sentences here. So Natalia, do you remember what those openers are?
In the beginning, because it's a prepositional opener.
Good. Do you know what number it is?
2.
Yes. Awesome. 2. Prepositional. It's a giant word. And then let's see if Jason can find the other one. It starts here with they. What kind of an opener is that?
Subject.
Yes. Do you remember what number?
1.
Good. You guys are awesome. I'm going to write it underneath because I don't have any room above it. Just going to put number 1, subject. Eventually, you guys
accidentally made my J have a curly Q.
Oh, eventually you guys are going to start using these openers in your writing too. And it'll help your writing out a lot. It'll really give it more stuff. So Kylie, where do the capitals go?
Because.
Good.
Although most of the time because doesn't people say that because isn't supposed to be the starting of a sentence.
Yeah, I agree with that. But since this is a prepositional phrase, it's okay to start it that way now. You have because of, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little different, but yeah.
They?
Yes, they. It's the other one. We need to stick a period in there because this is an example of when they had two main clauses together. It's like a run-on. So it does need a period there and then a period at the end. So we got that. Good job, you guys. That was a lot. Okay, so later after class, you can rewrite it down below. And then your homework, as usual, is the next 3 pages. So 64, 65, and 66 are your homework pages. You guys have any questions about grammar today? No? Okay. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Now, moving on to writing. The first thing we need to do is go to, in your binder, I want you to start by going to the banned words list. Because guess what? We're going to add some more. Yay! More banned words. Jason, did you have a question?
Yeah, sorry. I just thought of this. It's about grammar.
Oh, okay.
So do you just have the period on nobleman?
Oh, let me look. Yes. There's one period after nobleman, and then there's another period at the end.
Okay, so did you add a and to the middle of the sentence?
Did you say and?
Yeah, did you write an and in the middle of the sentence? Because right now it says these men whose families were hungry stole money from corrupt. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm not awake.
I can relate to that. Trust me, I really can. But that was, like we were saying, that's an example of a run-on where they've got 2 main clauses together without punctuation. And so we just add a period and then capitalize they, and then you're good. Okay.
Sorry,
Good
thank you.
question, though. No, I don't want you to ever feel bad about asking questions, because you never know. Another student might be thinking the same thing, but they didn't want to ask or whatever. So it's always good to check. All right. So here we are behind banned words tab, right? Go toward the back to the blue page behind banned words. And Natalia, what do you have so far at the top of your list?
At the top of the page, it says strong verbs.
Okay, good. And then what about in these boxes right here with the lines through it?
Say, said, see, saw, and think, thought.
Good. Say, said, see, saw, and think, thought. So now, just going to double check here. We're going to add
talk thought.
eat slash ate. And you might be thinking, eat, ate, why is that a banned word? Well, it is, because it's boring, right? We can think of better words than that.
Word.
Yeah, we can think of a better word. What do you think, Kylie? What's another one that we could say?
Chewed?
Chewed. Did you think of one, Kylie?
Swallowed.
Swallowed. What about like gobbled or gobbled up? Or consumed?
Like in Odysseus and the Cyclops.
Yes. Yes, he did. He devoured in that one. That's a good one.
And he consumed.
And he consumed. I love it. Jason, did you think of another one?
Sometimes this is used for eat and ate. And I have inhaled.
Yes, inhaled. I like it.
I inhaled my M&Ms and then I choked.
Yeah, you don't want to literally inhale, but yeah. Let me check if I spelled that right. It looks funny to me. Inhaled.
Alexa, how do you spell inhaled?
Inhale is spelled I-N-H-A-L-E.
Oh, I think I have it. I think I spelled it wrong. I have an extra I in there.
Yeah, no I.
Let me fix that. Thank you. There. All right. What about like nibbled? It could be a mouse nibbling something.
Hey, that's my brother when he doesn't like eating his onions.
His onions.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's young though. He'll probably like them later in
he's
life.
9. He's 9.
Oh, not too young.
I don't like onions either, though.
How about
Neither do I like pickles.
what if you're eating spaghetti and you slurp up the noodles? That would be a good one. Did you think of one,
You
Jason?
made a mess. That's what.
I have engulfed.
Engulfed. Ooh. Is that with an E? I think it is. Engulfed.
Alexa, how do you spell engulfed?
Engulfed is spelled E.
Yeah, you got that right.
G-U-L-F-E-D.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Technology not taking over our minds right now.
I don't really like using Alexa because she's always listening, right? But I don't mind if you do, Kylie. You have it there with your speaker on and everything, so why not?
It's at level 3, though.
It's watching you.
Mommy's like the loudest throughout the house. My brother at 10 is like mine at like 4.
All right, now I want you to turn. Okay, so you have your list. If you need to go back to this to look at it, or you can always ask Alexa, what's another word for 8? Like eat, 8.
Because she didn't hear you.
I know, I'm surprised. But or you can look on Google if your parents are okay with that. So there's more than that list. But I want you to go back a little bit, just right before that to your stylistic techniques page. It's in the tab right before that. And we got to make sure that you got everything on here because I don't know if we're up to date on this. So Kylie, tell me what you have on your page so far at the top under dress ups. What do you have so far?
Is that under band words?
No, it's right before that under stylistic techniques.
Stylistic techniques.
Yeah,
I
that's
have ly adverbs, who, which, clause, and strong verbs.
okay. Who, which, you should have those, and then strong verbs. And then we're adding one more over here. Number 4 is going to be because clause.
Uh-oh.
And actually, in my opinion, I think that's the easiest one out of all of them.
Okay, that's good. We're good.
Yeah, because basically you're just telling why something is the way it is. So when you're going to write your paragraphs, think about that. As you're writing, you're like, oh, I could tell more about that. I can explain that a little bit more. It starts with the word because, super easy. And then you're just telling why. Okay. So you're going to add that now to your list. So you have 4 words now to underline in your paragraphs. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure I got all this on here. Okay. So now you need to put away, actually. Go ahead and put away week 6, which was the heart in the ox stall. You can go ahead and put that away behind your finished compositions now.
Can we
And
put
by
the
the
pink
way,
one there too?
say that again.
Can we put the pink one there too?
Oh yeah, you have the pink page. I forgot about that. Hold on. Is that part of the heart in the ox stall one?
No, it just has a lot of other ly adverbs.
The pink page it stays behind your stylistic techniques. Is that where you have it? You can put it behind that yellow page that we just wrote on. So your ly words that page goes there behind stylistic techniques.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I didn't put in my homework yet, like, didn't take pictures and stuff. Can I just leave out the heart in the ox stall until we can take pictures?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then when you're done with that, then you can put it away. That's fine, Kylie. Yeah, this is the page you were talking about. Sorry about that, Natalia. Yeah, this one, page 57, it goes behind stylistic techniques, behind that yellow page in that tab. And then the rest of it, if you're done with it, if you've already submitted it, you can put it behind finished compositions. Now, remember last year, Kylie, your binder got so full, it was like popping out, papers were coming out. So if that's happening to you guys, you can take out your finished compositions and put them somewhere else in a different binder or different folder. That frees up space in your binder, okay? But don't take anything else out. You can only take out the finished stuff that you're done with. And Jason, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I don't know how this is happening, but I have 2 week 7s and each are different.
Oh, weird. Okay, hold on. Let me
Week
show you what I
7,
got.
Y opossum has a bare tail, and week 7, dangerous birds.
You accidentally have Tyler's binder. I mean, not binder, but Y opossum lost his tail that, or has a bare tail. That's Tyler's. Somehow
Wonder
I
why
got it in your
that's in
binder.
my binder.
What?
It was in my binder.
That's weird. So you guys should be getting.
Clearing that up.
You're welcome. You should be getting out week 7. It's kind of a lot to get out, by the way.
I think I read all the stories until I got bored of them. Like Mike the Headless Chicken.
Oh, yeah.
And
So we're on
then
dangerous birds, correct?
We're on dangerous birds. Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
And you're welcome. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages to get out. It's a lot. Okay.
I got them out.
Good. And then you need a lined piece of paper too. So get out all of week 7 and then a lined piece of paper. Okay.
It's right there.
You guys give me a thumbs up when you got all your stuff ready. It's all 7 pages and a lined piece of paper. Okay, good. All right. I want you to go to the checklist first, actually. Page 73. Remember, this is how I always grade your stuff. So make sure you have this anytime you're doing your homework at home. Make sure you have this next to you. But you're going to notice a few new things on here. And the first thing I want to point out to you is the 4th box down on the top. There's a new rule here under structure. It says topic clincher sentence repeats or reflects 2 to 3 key words. And then it says highlight or bold. So we're going to talk about that in a minute, but that's new on your checklist. Okay. A topic clincher sentence. We'll talk about that more in just a minute. And then I want you to also notice there's the because clause. That's new. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 words now to underline in each sentence, in each sentence. That would be hard. In each paragraph. And then notice the new band word here, eat, ate. So you've got say, said, see, saw, think, thought, and now you have eat, ate. So that's new. Okay. Now I want you to look at your yellow page here. This is page 63.
Oh, I thought of another good word for the strong verb. Digest.
Okay.
Digest.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Digest. That's a really good one. Okay, this is page 63. And at the top, by the way, this is a new unit for you. So we're now on unit 4. So unit 1 and 2, if you remember way back when we started, that was when we were looking at each sentence and we were pulling out keywords in every single sentence, okay?
My favorite.
And then we moved into unit 3, and that was the story sequence chart. That's when you have, you know, characters and setting, and then you have the conflict and the problem, and then you have the solution. Now we're moving into unit 4. This one is more of academic writing. You're going to look at real facts about real things. You're going to learn about dangerous birds. They're real birds that really exist, and information about them. It's not going to be made up stuff now. It's going to be facts. And you're going to learn how to write a report. Okay. And so, this part on top is just telling you how you're going to organize your outline, because we're going to go back to keyword outlines again.
I did a. Oh, sorry.
And
I
then
did.
oh, go ahead.
I did a report for Mrs. Bloom, and it was like a scientist report.
Oh,
My
cool.
brothers did it. I was the only one who did it, but my brothers did the experiment with me.
Oh, good. That's pretty cool. Yeah, because you'll have to do reports in science and sometimes even in history. So in literature, yeah. So this is good information for you guys to use forever, even after you're done with my class. But I want to focus on this part of the page, actually, on the bottom. It's the topic clincher rule. And I know Kylie knows it because we practiced it a lot last year. But Kylie, let's show Jason and Natalia how to do it with your hands. You remember how we did this?
Yeah.
So we'll start by saying the topic sentence and the clincher sentence. Remember that?
And it's like the key something.
Yeah. Remember this?
Yeah.
Must repeat or reflect
repeat or reflect
2 or 3 key words. So the reason why we do the hand motions with it, and I'm going to take this off share so you can see me in a bigger video here, but we have hand motions with this because it actually helps your brain remember it better. It really does. It'll help you memorize it better. So now I want everybody to do it with me. And the reason why we do this with our hands is because you're kind of showing the top of your paragraph. It's the first sentence. So everybody go like this and say the topic sentence. And then move your hand down and say, and the clincher sentence. Okay, that's the last sentence of the paragraph. And then you're going to make a fist and you're going to go like this and say must. There you go. And then use 2 fingers together and kind of make like a backwards C shape, like a half, like kind of like a half moon shape. Repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key, like you're turning a key to the car or the door or something, key, and then open your hand and say words. Okay, one more time. Say it right after me. The topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. One more time, say it faster. The topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. Okay, good. Now, you're going to be practicing that a lot. But remember, it's right here. So when we have our Roman numeral 1, that's the topic sentence. That's the first sentence of your paragraph. And then at the very end here, this kind of goes with number 7, actually. It's the last sentence of your paragraph. So basically, clincher, if you think of grabbing something or clinching something, I always like to think of like when I'm on a roller coaster at Disneyland or Magic Mountain or something, I'm like clenching the bar with all of my might because, you know, it's scary and I don't want to fall, right? So you squeeze it. So in writing, it basically means you're grabbing your reader's attention, right? You're making it like clinching it together. It's like wrapping it all up and it's sealing up what you're trying to say. Kind of like the title rule when you get to the very last sentence and then you tie that into the title. Now you're going to be doing that for each paragraph. And your rule is here, repeat or reflect 2 to 3 keywords. Well, we know what repeat is. It's the same word exactly. Reflect means a synonym. So it's not the same word, but it's close. It means almost the same thing. So you're going to pick 2 or 3, and you're going to bold it in your writing or highlight it. And so we're going to practice this more and more, but I wanted to introduce that to you. Now I want you to get out your lined piece of paper. And go ahead and put your name and date here, and then we're going to start talking about a few things. Name goes there. Date goes here. Today's 11/30. And you're going to call this one dangerous, O-U-S, birds. And this is we're going to go back to KWO. Keyword outline. Now, before we start building our outline, I do want to talk to you about a couple of things. We're going to take a couple notes on here. So over here next to this red line, go ahead and skip a line, and I want you to put summarize a reference. That's the name of this unit. This is unit 4. We're summarizing a reference. Now, if you look at that word summarize, just underline SUM, and you might be thinking, hey, that's a math term, and it is. If you take the sum of 2 numbers, it's the total, right? That's when you're adding 2 numbers together, your answer is the sum. So you might be thinking when you summarize, you need the total of the information, but that's not true. That's only in math. In writing, it really is S-O-M-E, sum. You're telling some of the information, not all of it. So what we're going to learn to do in this part in unit 4 is look at a bunch of information, and then you're only going to pick some of the things to talk about in your report, because there's no way you can write everything. So you're going to be looking for, underneath some, I want you to put an arrow like this, and I want you to put interesting, relevant, and important. Now, those are what you're looking for. Now, you're going to be reading about dangerous birds. You're going to find out a lot of information about it, but you're only picking some things, and you're going to focus on the things that are interesting. I think that's the first, let's put a little star by it, because interesting, if you find it interesting, then your reader will probably find it interesting too. So you don't want to pick boring stuff, right? You want to pick, oh, that's kind of cool. That's interesting. Use information like that in your report, and then it makes it a lot easier and better for people who are wanting to read it. So now I'm just going to have you set up, skip a line, and you're going to set up Roman numeral 1 over here. And you're just going to do 1 to 7 this time. And in the margin, I want you to put the word topic next to the Roman numeral 1. And then I want you to put the word clincher next to 7. It's a reminder for you when you go to write your paragraph, you got to make sure to have your topic and your clincher. And remember, those are the words that repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. Okay, so we're writing about dangerous birds, and you probably noticed when you were taking out all these papers for week 7 that there's 3 different articles. You've got, hold on, let me get mine ready. You've got this one that says hooded pitahui. Then there's this one that says African ostrich. And then there's this one that says southern cassowary. Guess what? Those are all 3 different birds. And so you're going to end up writing 3 paragraphs. But this week, we're just going to focus on paragraph 1. Okay. And the first article we're going to read is this one, hooded pitahui. Did you have a question, Jason?
Yeah, it's about the clincher. So
Okay.
we repeat or reflect 2, 3 words, but like in a sentence, right? But that's it.
Yeah. So, and we're going to talk about that more. So if you're still not sure what that looks like next week, I'll tell you more about it. But when you go to write your paragraph this week, you're going to try to repeat or reflect from the first sentence and the last sentence. The sentences will be different, but you're going to pick 2 or 3 words that are going to be the same or almost the same in those sentences. Does that make sense, Jason?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And it's okay if that's still, you're not clear on that, because it'll get more clear as we practice this. So let's focus on this next. This is page 65. This is the first bird, the first dangerous bird we're going to read about. Now, the information here, there's probably 12 facts in here, but you only need 7 in your outline. So we'll talk about that. So as I'm reading this, I want you to underline information that you think is interesting. And I'll help you do that. I'll do that with mine too as I read it here. Okay. So this is called the hooded pitahui. It's weird. It's a name of a bird. It says here the hooded pitahui. And the reason I know how to pronounce it is because it tells you right here, pitahui. There you go. Pitahui is the first poisonous bird ever discovered. Now, I think that's interesting. I'm going to underline first poisonous bird ever discovered. Remember, we're looking for interesting facts now because there's too many in here. So we want to pick and choose which ones we want to use in our report. The bird lives in the forests of New Guinea, where it is known as the rubbish bird. I'm going to underline rubbish bird because that's kind of a cool phrase. Rubbish just means like trash, Part of the oriole family, this songbird is brightly colored with a red-orange belly and back and a black hood-like head. So I think it's interesting about the color. So I'm going to underline just that part of the sentence, brightly colored with red-orange belly and back and black hood-like head. So notice I'm not underlining complete sentences. I'm underlining facts that I think is interesting. We're picking and choosing things that are interesting. I didn't underline New Guinea. If you like that, you think that's interesting, underline that. Or the oriole family, if you think that's an interesting fact, you can underline that. Okay, so everybody's is going to be a little different. It is a medium-sized bird averaging about 9 inches in length. I think that's interesting. Medium size, 9 inches in length. In 1989, a researcher was assisting a hooded pitahui caught in a mesh trap. Its claws scratched the man, and his skin grew numb. Weird, interesting. Scratched the man, and his skin grew numb. I'm also going to underline that word researcher, so I know who I'm talking about here. He got scratched, and his skin grew numb. That's weird from a bird, okay? He licked his cuts, weird, and his tongue grew numb too. Okay, super weird. Licked his cuts, tongue grew numb. I think maybe it was kind of like a reaction. He was just like, ow, lick. I've never done that before, but I guess I have cut myself before. And then I'm like, I don't think I've licked it. I usually grab a Kleenex or something, but okay, this guy, he licked it. So then his tongue was numb. He's probably like, my tongue is numb. What, were you going to say something, Kylie? Oh, you're muted.
No.
Oh, okay. It says tests showed the bird's feathers and skin were poisonous. Feathers and skin poisonous. Interesting. While the hooded pitahui primarily eats fruit, it also consumes various insects, and it probably gets its toxicity from eating corysine beetles. Okay, I'm going to underline toxicity and then corysine beetles because that's kind of weird. I guess those are toxic, and because he eats those, it makes him toxic too. The poison is batrachotoxin, similar to that of the poison dart frog, and it may serve to deter predators as well as protect birds from parasites. Interesting. Local natives know not to hunt or eat the pitahui. I think that's kind of interesting. They're like, I'm not going to go near that guy. I know better. All right. I got to go kind of fast here because I want to make sure to get your outline going for your paragraph. So now that we have some things that we underlined, notice we didn't underline everything. We underlined things that we thought were interesting. So now here, we got to start filling this out. We're talking about the hooded, I forgot to capitalize that, pitahui. So remember, this report is about dangerous birds. That's your subject. That's a broad subject. We have 3 different articles, 3 different birds. The first bird is the hooded pitahui. And it's the first poisonous bird that they discovered. So I'm going to count that as 1 word because that's the name of the bird. Okay. And I'm going to put first, I'm going to write 1 ST, then I don't have to count that. Poisonous and discovered. We're introducing this bird. Okay, so your topic sentence introduces the topic. This bird, this paragraph is going to be all about the hooded pitahui. Now, looking back on what we underlined, we also underlined rubbish bird, and we underlined the color of his body. I think I might skip rubbish bird. I might add that later when I go to write my paragraph. But for now, I'm going to skip down here to the color. So it says brightly colored with red or orange belly and back and black like hood like head. That's a lot of information for 1 line. So I'm going to split that up between 2, and that's okay. We can talk about his brightly red or orange belly. So I'm going to put red, orange belly. If you have a different way of putting that, go ahead and put it how you want to on your outline, okay? You could maybe use a sun for bright, you know, if you want to use that word brightly colored. That would be a good ly adverb, by the way. Did you want to say something, Jason? I saw your hand for a second.
Nope, that was it.
That was it? Okay. So you can add, you can change yours. This is just how I'm doing mine right now. Oh, belly and back. Maybe I'm going to draw a little guy here and his hands are going to be forward, and then we'll put an arrow to his back. How about that?
I just colored the colors like
Oh,
some black, orange. I scribbled orange.
that's a good idea. Then it says a black hood-like head. I can just put that here, black, and then hood-like is hyphenated, so we can count that as 1 head. Black hood-like head, okay? You see the pattern here. See what I'm doing? I'm only looking at the stuff that I underlined because I thought that was interesting. And I'm adding it to my outline here. Let's see what time we got. Ooh, okay. So next we have underlined medium-sized, average, about 9 inches in length. So I'm going to put medium size, 9 inches. You guys with me okay now? Okay, good. So we're going on to the next thing we underlined was about the researcher that got scratched and his skin grew numb. So that's going to be a tricky one. I think researcher is important. Scratched and numb. Now, if you have a different way of putting that, that's okay. I'm just kind of going through this really quick with you guys. Lick, tongue, numb. Toxicity, I'm going to just keep going because we're running out of time. Sorry, guys. Toxicity, and then I'm putting that chorusing. Beetle. Now, that's what they eat. So careful not to use the word eat now because that is a banned word. So you can say consume, gobble up, whatever, however you guys want to say that when you get to that point. And then local natives know not to hunt or eat. So local, or I'm going to use that word natives. Natives. And then I'm going to do hunt and eat, even though I know that's a banned word, but I'm going to circle those and I'm going to put a line through them. It's okay to have a banned word on your keyword outline, but just don't use it when you go to write. You'll have to come up with something different. Okay, I know we're blasting through the last part of this lesson. I'm sorry about that, but I want to make sure to get it all in. Now your job is just to write one paragraph, just this paragraph, okay? And you're going to follow your checklist. And when you go to write your first sentence and your last sentence, when you get to this last one, think of some words that you can repeat or reflect. Now, something you can use is hooded pitahui. You can repeat that in the last sentence and count that as your topic clincher. Okay? Or poisonous. Say it here. Another word for poisonous could be toxic. You can repeat that or reflect that at the end. Okay, Jason, question?
So all of this keyword outline is for one paragraph, right?
One paragraph, yep. Because
Okay,
eventually
so
we're going to learn about, oh, go ahead.
So the entire thing is one paragraph, right? Not like the sentences. I'm just making sure.
The entire thing for your homework this week is one paragraph. And then next week, we're going to do two more so that your report will end up being 3 paragraphs total. Does that make sense?
So
But this week is just one paragraph right here. All of this goes in one paragraph.
oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And if you get stuck on that topic clincher, just do what you think, and then we'll talk about it again in next week in class, and then clarify how to do the topic clincher. Okay, so one paragraph using all of this, and then your grammar, and that's your homework. You guys good? All right, good job today, you guys. I know that was a lot to take in. I'll see you next week. Have a good week, you guys. Bye.